I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yes. What would the after show be without this music?
I know, right? It never gets old.
Hey guys, we're talking the after show for the L Word Generation Q Season 1, Episode 7 already. Lose it all. And there's definitely a lot to be lost in this episode.
A lot. Oh my God.
A lot at stake between relationships, TV shows, partnerships, so much. So I really want to dig into it because we got so many great things to talk about. Bette, her feelings for Tina. We got Shane was definitely put to the test with her relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Alice blindsided at work and at home, and Sophie being a little naughty, not quite like Sophie, yeah. So what were your thoughts overall for this episode?
It was a roller coaster. I honestly, I wasn't expecting it, and just from the very beginning, I was just when Sophie's in the shower and Nat's not really paying attention to her, but then Finley comes in and it's like, that's what Nat should have. Oh my God, I'm saying Natalie.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, no, that's what Dani should have been like. She should have been like,
oh, girl, you're looking good in the shower, but
not at all.
And then she does nothing. She's on her phone, and then why am I obsessed with Nat all of a sudden? And then Finley comes in and is like, damn, girl, you doing Pilates? And it's like, yeah, right? That's what she needs.
Exactly. I feel like in a relationship, I think you always have to check in with your partner or tell your partner, wow, you're looking hot. I still want you. I'm attracted to you. I think that's when people start to get insecure, and then people start to look elsewhere if they're not getting attention from their partner.
Oh, yeah.
Dani, you should be paying attention to your partner.
I know, Dani. And she killing me.
I know, and it's funny, too, because if it was just, even the first, second, third episode, Dani would have paid attention to her.
Yeah.
And now it's Dani completely forgot about Sophie. And Finley steps in.
Yeah, that's something I wrote. Finley is she's gotten in the way of an engagement, apparently. But it's funny, what I wrote is that Dani is not giving Sophie the attention, and Finley just happens to be in the right place at the right time. Not necessarily for the right situation, but she's there for Sophie when Sophie needs it, and she happens to say the right things.
And I don't feel like Finley's trying to break up the engagement
by
any means. She honestly was there. So basically, Sophie has to go to the hospital to be with her grandma. That was actually the one time Dani at least put down her phone for one second. And is like, I'll come to the hospital with you. I'll cancel everything. And Sophie knows how important work is to her and is like, no, it's okay. But she really did want her to step up and come on her own.
Anyway, yeah.
She could at least stop by for lunch, anything.
And she didn't. And it was just dude, come on.
I know. So Finley comes with snacks. She goes back and forth, comes with clothes.
Right?
Really is there with her all day long. A really good friend, if nothing else. You keep Finley as a friend. Even prayed with her, and we know that Finley has
an issue with that. That's triggering for her.
Yeah, definitely, with all of that. So then Finley finally, when she goes home to grab some clothes for Dani, I don't even think called, checked in on
not
her
at all.
fiance.
She just thought that Sophie was gonna be at home. Oh, hey babe, how's your grandma? And she's like, oh, it's me. She's not at the hospital because her grandma fell down.
Yeah, exactly. So
check in.
Finley had to tell Dani, I think you really should come to the hospital for a little bit.
Yeah, she called her out.
And it's funny too because as a woman, I totally get this, and I know that it's important to say what you want, tell your partner what you need.
Oh, yeah.
But I definitely had an example
as a human, that's important.
Of this. I don't want to have to tell my partner certain things. I feel like she should just know that she needs to step up. So
I agree. It's both sides. It's sometimes it's this is what I want, this is what I need from you. But at the same time, it's if my significant other was at the hospital with their family, I wouldn't have taken no for an answer. I would have been they were no, just go to work. I'd be no, I don't think so. Well, then again, I'm not in this situation. But that's I would like to, but we saw it happening. We were no, Dani, go.
Exactly. So I had a work event. I work for a radio station, and we throw these big concerts, and we do it a couple times a year. And I really wanted my ex at the time to go, but she works overnight. So I know she was really tired. And she's call to wake me up to make sure I'm up and get ready. So I call her, and she sounds so exhausted. And I'm you don't have to come, if you're really tired. And she was just okay. And she was so not like, oh, but I know it's important, like whatever. And that's when you want like someone to step up and be like, no, I'm still gonna come. Like, it's important to you. It's, you know.
She just took that like, oh, well, you said. And she was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, so then I was really upset. I was really hurt, actually. That was a time where I wanted her to read my mind. And then, like, she came by later after she had rested after the event was over. And she was like, I knew you were going to get mad at me for not coming. I'm like, well, then you should have freaking come. Like, so,
if you knew, like, go with your instinct.
Like, maybe I do act like a girl, but I definitely could relate to Sophie because, like, a time where you want your partner to step up, show that they care.
Absolutely.
But you don't want to have to tell them, like, yes, come to the hospital, come to my work event, you know. But
like, especially they are engaged in their family, and, like, and their families are supposedly coming together, and like that's something I think Dani should have been something instinctual that should have been like, yeah, I'm supposed to be there regardless of what you said.
Exactly. And let's talk Bette too, because Bette and Dani now something hot could be going on.
Hallie is not here, but she called that. And like even I didn't catch it in the last episode when I don't remember his name, her other worker, Dani's like partner in crime for the.
Was it Robert? I don't remember his name either because he's only been in it a short amount of time.
He's only on a few episodes, but he said that in the previews they were showing us, last week.
That's his name, Pierce. Sorry.
Pierce. He said like, oh, like this is something else for you. Like I'm out of here because he like caught on that like Dani's into Bette, and then today like it was kind of funny like seeing Bette like kind of like Hallie said, like when they were like being her Gaby, like she kind of was like, you say please when you ask for something, or you say this, and then at the end she's like, do you want a glass of whiskey? And she's like, oh yes, please. And they have a glass of whiskey together, and it's just the whole time I was hearing Hallie's voice being like, oh, Bette knows what she's doing. Bette knows what she's doing.
I know, and it's funny too because I'm like, she should have freaking been with her girlfriend, but instead she's having a drink. Fine, she's having a drink with Bette. And this is like the next best option. I really wanted Bette to end up with Tina because in the beginning of the episode, she reaches over.
There were so many missed signals. I was like, or not missed signals, just mixed signals.
And even Tina was like, Bette, let's go out to dinner. And you're thinking,
right?
Ooh, this could be something really spicy. Really
but even last week, that was one of my predictions. I was like, I don't think Bette and Tina's going to work out. Even last week when Bette was like, oh, please stay, Tina was like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. But I just really wanted it to happen again. So Bette gets all excited. She's like, no, I'll cook you this amazing dinner.
I know, right?
And they're having a great time. And then Tina drops the bomb on her.
That she's now engaged. How do we tell Angie? And it's like, and Bette was clearly upset.
Yeah.
Like, there was no denying that.
I've definitely been in that situation before where you're trying to be happy for someone. Because, you don't wish harm on them. You are happy. But you're like fighting back the tears.
Like, no, this is great. I'm so happy for tears of joy. Tears of joy.
How many times did Bette get up from that table and be like, oh, we need more alcohol. Now we need champagne just to like hide away so she could cry or do whatever.
That was I don't want to say it was tough to watch. It was just difficult. It was like, oh, poor girl. She wanted Tina to be there. And
come on, does Angie really need all three of them to sit down to explain that Tina's getting married? I don't think Bette needs to be there.
Yeah, not necessarily. I can understand why Tina was like, I think we should all do it, because I think she's trying, because now that she's like, oh yeah, I've been here, I'm seeing Angie more, and it feels nice to be part of this unit. And I think that's kind of what she's trying to go for, is like, oh, like, I am getting engaged, and she is going to be a stepmother to Angie. She didn't say that, but I'm saying it.
Yeah.
So it's like, she wants to, we need to be a unit, I think is kind of what she's going for. It's just like...
And it feels kind of funny, too. We were getting excited because Tina's like, oh, I think I want to be closer to Angie and get a place. But to move in with this Carrie girl. And
Carrie girl?
I know, I'm saying Carrie girl because I'm so upset. And I feel like Tina would be more involved in Angie's life. Like the first few episodes, Tina was like, yeah, Bette, you take care of her. You do what you want to do with her. Mm-hmm. That didn't sound like Tina to me. Like, now I'm glad, though, that she is going to be closer and more involved in Angie's life. Yeah. And we didn't even get to see Angie in this episode.
I was surprised. I was waiting to see a little something with her and her friend. I was like, what's happening with those little girls?
We'll see the last episode what happens with those little girls. And then we had Micah and Jose.
I know, that was pretty... Well, Micah and his mom, that was very dramatic.
It was. So, Micah, as many of you know, is trans. And Jose ended up going to lunch, Micah finally decided, okay, I'm going to introduce Jose to my mother. And the mother really misgendered Micah, and I was really like, it was very uncomfortable. She kept trying to pull out pictures of when Micah was young and like, oh, look at you as a little girl, and it was just really like so hurtful.
It was hard. It was tough because it's like you can, it's like, and it's almost, it's so. It's it's terrible because like you kind of almost feel for the mother because it's like, oh, like that's her little girl, but it's like, no, that's not this case anymore. Like your girl's now a boy, and that is what it is. And at first I kind of see what she's like, oh, look how what she used to be, but then I thought maybe his mother was gonna make a distinction, and she didn't make a distinction to like, oh, and then Michael got really upset, which is completely understandable. It just, but it was nice that it kind of wrapped up toward the end and it got better.
Yeah, and I do like it that she is willing to try. She's like, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to be better. Like, as someone who is gay, that's what you want your parents to say. Because I know even with that, like, my parents, they're still having a difficult time. Like, so many parents really struggle with that, and all you want is for them to just, accept you the way you are and love you the way you are, and just, welcome your lifestyle. Because I know it's difficult for parents, because it's almost like they have this dream of you getting married and the white picket fence and the kids and the dog and this and that, and you kind of you crush it a little bit for them. So I understand that it is kind of like a loss for them, but that's life, I guess.
Right.
And then, oh my gosh, Alice, the threesome.
Oh my God. Okay, so I haven't necessarily said this on the show yet. I love Alice. I think she is my favorite character. I love that woman. She just warms my heart. I love her energy, her personality, her style. I think she's great. So when she went home and Gigi and Nat were in bed together, given their situation, I don't think it should have been a problem. But
you don't think so?
I don't think it should have been, but I understand why. And when Alice was upset about it, my heart just sank. I was like, oh no, she's so sad or jealous or upset, like whatever she's going through. I'm just like, baby girl, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
This was the first time where we actually saw some emotion from Alice, because the whole time she was like totally fine.
She's been very into it.
How many girlfriends would like their girlfriend to be with their ex-wife? Like, it just, I don't know. It was, and I definitely do feel like they crossed the line. Like, they're supposed to always be together. I don't think they really discussed it, so. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if they had, like, those rules set in stone. But she did say something about them watching a TV show. Yeah. And she was like, oh, like, with something about 3 and
don't watch it without me. We all have to watch this TV show.
With something not 3, like, me, I don't know. Something, she made a rhyme, and they're like, that was lame. But, like, so I guess that kind of was, like, a precursor, like, yo, like, don't do anything without me.
Yeah, if she doesn't want them to watch a TV show without her, she definitely doesn't want them sleeping together without her. And they were so, you could tell, like, because even
I think they knew they messed up, and they were still just like, you want to get on this?
And why did they stay in bed naked? Like, it was no big deal. I feel like they should have put their clothes on. Maybe, I know it's kind of lying, but maybe not admit that they slept together without Alice there. Because it happened, it seemed like quite a while ahead of time, and they're just chilling in bed, hanging out. I don't know where the kids are.
Pillow talk or whatever.
Well, and then what concerned me is that even before that they ended up sleeping together, Nat, or was it after? During, I can't remember exactly, but Nat was like, this never had to happen. Like, this felt so good. We could keep the kids, our whole family could have stayed together. I should have, I should have listened to you. I should have, because Gigi cheated on her. That's why they broke up. And Nat never gave her a chance to explain herself. She just kicked her out right away, wanted a divorce, which I understand, because when someone cheats, you hear that saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. And it does seem to happen a lot. So I understand, but now Nat is really regretting her situation. Like, look, we could have been this happy family all this time, and none of this would have had to happen. Yeah. So I think it's definitely much deeper than, oh, okay, let's just have a little fun with my ex, and I love Alice more because she doesn't.
Because Nat even said in the previous episode to Alice, she was like, oh, I'm just having all the feelings, like, about Gigi, like, the good ones and the bad ones, and it's just a lot, and I don't want to lose you, and now here we are. And then they go to meet up at lunch, and she's like, really? Soup, salad, 2 spoons, 1 soup? Bye, guys.
Well, and the funny thing is, you think that Nat would have rushed out after Alice after the whole thing happened, and Gigi kind of kept her in bed. So she did, and then she ends up calling her and leaving this voicemail saying,
really weird voicemail.
I need time to think about this. I don't know what I want. Well, the whole time Gigi is there in the home with Nat still. I'm sure some more bedroom action is going on in the meantime. And Alice is just has to I don't even know where she stayed. Did she go stay with a friend? What?
It seemed like she stayed at Shane's, but but we don't actually know. Maybe she got a hotel room somewhere, but there's no actual, it just kind of was she left, and then it was this montage of this voicemail, and then it was then they were at lunch. So apparently, time had passed, but we don't actually know what had happened.
Passed, so quite a bit of time to really think about that. Leave Alice in the dark. They have their. So I would have been upset. I would have been like Alice too, and been like, you can't just have your fun for 3 days and decide, oh, I'm not going to talk to Alice and. Yeah, so I will say Alice looks fabulous this year. I think she looks better than she's ever looked. The hair, she's
I
killing
love her.
it.
She
she's
is spunky, and she just warms my little heart.
Now, and if that wasn't enough, this drama at home, which is really difficult, her show at work, I'm so upset. She has 1 episode left of this season, and they may not renew it.
Mm-hmm. And then she has to deal with Homeboy, who she wanted to fire, and then now she's like, all right, now I have to cooperate with you.
Yeah. Well, she has to. She has no choice. I mean, if they cancel her show, she's not going to be able to have a voice for the LGBT community anyways. So she does kind of have to sell out a little bit. Do something, whatever. I don't know what they're even expecting her to do this episode, but they want it to go viral. So something big, something that maybe more the straight crowd will be interested in. And then
maybe
once the ratings go up, then I think maybe another year or so, then she could branch out again. But she did take a lot of risks with the show.
Oh yeah, she did. I mean, we all loved it, but the viewers in their worlds were not necessarily pleased. Or not pleased, but just not as much as they should have been there.
So it'll be very interesting to see that. And then Shane and Quiara. So much happened this episode.
So much.
So Shane decided, okay, I'm going to stick with you. You're having the baby, but I love you enough where it doesn't matter. She kicked Finley out of her place so the two of them could live together. And they were going to hear the heartbeat for the first time. And Bette and Tina were sharing with Shane how wonderful it is to hear that and what it's like horses galloping on the beach. I forgot what they said.
Horses galloping through the mud.
Or through the mud, yeah.
Such a romantic coin of phrase.
And Shane didn't feel anything at all. She felt, which I've never been in that situation, so I don't know, but to hear your, I guess, kind of baby's heartbeat, I know she wasn't as involved in the process, but to not feel anything and then have to use reference something that Bette and Tina said, it was a little sad.
I know. I mean, that was definitely her, she didn't know what to say because she didn't have that magical feeling that she was expecting to have, so she just went with what she had heard, which I think was a safe choice for her to do. Props to you, Shane, from pulling from quote-unquote experience. But then when they go to dinner, when they have dinner later, and Quiara thinks that she's getting stood up by her quote-unquote wife, ex-wife, whatever have you. But it was nice that she was like, I'm sorry, today was hard, I didn't feel anything, and that worries me because I don't want to mess this up.
Yes, I was so proud of Shane, so proud of her for confessing her feelings.
Because
she's normally a runner. She runs from the stuff.
But I loved Kiara's reaction because it was just it was perfect. It's the fact that you're worried about not feeling that way shows that you do feel a certain way.
Yes.
And it's Shane wants to have these feelings. It's not just oh yeah, that I don't care about this baby's heartbeat. Bye, girl.
I think it is in your time. Even there's a lot of pressure to say I love you to someone, because I've kind of dealt with that with my ex and in different situations. And really, what's the rush? If you do feel like you care about that person and you enjoy being together and have that bond, who's to say you have to say it in 6 months? You have to say it in a year.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. People say that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's they're oh, I'm not in love within 6-8 months. This obviously like we're not meant to be together because we haven't felt that. But I'm realizing like love is a process, and you got to go through different experiences with someone, really see who they are, and take your time with it in order to, so that's, it kind of reminded me of that, because all this pressure, and in TV too, like honestly, Jose told Micah that he loved him after what, a couple episodes.
Yeah,
like,
that seemed very rushed to me, but teach their own.
Yeah, it just gets thrown around a lot, so I think it gives everyone pressure. But speaking of Micah and Jose, you know, Jose being introduced to the mama, did you ever have an experience? Have you brought someone home to your parents?
Oh my God, yes. It's funny because like my family didn't know I was out. Like I came out when I was in college, and I like came home one like winter break, and and my boyfriend at the time, my first boyfriend, I brought him over to the house, and they're like, "Oh, who's this?" I was like, "Oh, this is so and so," and she's like, "Oh, like how do you guys know each other?" I was like, "Oh, well, we like each other." Like, what do you mean? I was like, "Well, we like to hold hands and hang out and kiss and stuff." And my mom just goes, "Doug," and she starts yelling across. I was like, Cody's gay. She was like so excited.
Oh, it was exciting.
It was excitement because the thing is, with me, like my whole family knew before I knew, so it was like a whole like, it was just so funny because I wasn't like, oh hey, just so you know, I'm bringing my boyfriend home. It was like I was just like, hey, like so this is this guy who I like hold hands with, and they were so excited, like, finally, we're so happy. I was like, oh, great.
I love that. That's amazing that you have supportive parents, that they were so excited. That
it is. Yeah. I've been fortunate enough to have a supporting family.
That is wonderful. And so for gossip and everything, our special segment, I wanted to dig a little bit into what critics are saying about the show. Mm-hmm. And yes, we've definitely got some mixed reviews, and
yeah, so
that's
I'm hearing.
I don't like to listen to what everyone has to say, the critics. I also like to ask friends and see what people are thinking, because I feel like I'm pretty big in the LGBTQ community in Los Angeles, and I've gotten mixed reviews. Everyone seems to enjoy the show. I have heard some people. I'm the type, like, I love every episode. I think it's very entertaining. I can't stop watching it.
I enjoy it very much.
I wish I could binge watch it, because I would every single episode all at one time. But some of the critics are saying that they feel like the bond between the new characters isn't quite as strong as the bond between the old characters.
I don't. Again, I come from the perspective of not having seen the original, but I can agree with that. I feel like I can see that just because, like, we don't know the new characters, whereas, like, Bette and Alice and Shane, like, well, I don't, but the viewers know them and have a relationship with them. Yeah. So I can see why people would be saying that.
But I will say they had so many seasons to bond and so many seasons to get close on and off set. I mean, come on, this is the first season. I feel like they need to give them a chance, and I feel like there is chemistry. But yeah, when they do what did they do? 6 seasons? They did quite a few seasons of the original L Word. They had a lot of time to bond. And then the other thing that I heard was that they feel like they're trying to represent everyone, and they're trying a little bit too hard. I mean, even bringing on Sophie's sister who has a disability, and
I see.
They're worried that they're trying too hard to include everyone. And I feel like it's great that they are trying to be so open and get the message out there. I mean, how do you feel about this show?
I haven't thought too much about it in that sense. Like, I've never thought of it as being overrepresentative. Yeah. However, I do think a lot of mainstream media and shows do try to include everybody, because in this day and age, like, everybody does need to be represented and have a voice, which is awesome, and it's great to see media evolving like that. However, I do think it does happen a lot where shows just are trying to get everybody in there, and that can be like, okay, like, I mean, there are shows that I've binge watched on popular streaming networks that
I won't say names.
that I'm like, oh great, so this character's here just so we know that this type of person exists, which is great. But it's like, as a critic, I don't want to call myself a critic, but as a viewer, like, I see it's there for the sake of being there, not because it's important to the story. Whereas in this show, in Generation Q, I don't see. I think because it's Generation Q, I think they're trying to include everybody who is queer and who falls under the what do they call it? The alphabet mafia?
Yeah.
Which I love that term. and I can see like maybe with the I don't think they're.
Yeah.
I think they're doing a good job of trying to get everybody in.
Yeah, I
and
feel
it's
like-
not like all of a sudden there's
Yeah.
somebody who's like, oh, you're there solely for this.
I think they're being a little bit too hard on the cast. Although Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it an 81%. I think that's a pretty
That's
good
a
rating.
solid
That's
passing.
a solid. Honestly, most shows the first season don't do too well. And for news and gossip, Cody,
Yes.
got exciting news.
We are excited. From Deadline, we have The L Word, Generation Q, is to return on Showtime for a second season, which
Yay!
I'm excited about.
I'm so excited.
I'm stoked on this one. The renewal comes ahead of the season finale of the reboot of the classic drama on January 26th. The show, which launched on Viacom CBS, owned by Premium Network on December 8th, has been handed another 10-episode run.
Yes.
I know that's quoting from the article. I'm under the impression it is 8 episodes this season. I don't know if they're doing 8 next season or actually bumping it up to 10. Regardless, I'm excited. And Showtime's network president of entertainment, Yana I can't say her name. Winograde? Revealed that the launch of the L Word Generation Q drove the network's biggest weekend of subscriber signups in 2019.
Oh, wow.
So the show is getting a mixed batch of reviews, but from what we can tell and from what the network can tell is it's doing good.
It's doing good to renew for a second season. And now I hope they don't make us wait long, because you know how sometimes though it's renewed for another season and they'll make you wait like 2 years to see that season. So hopefully it will start next year. That's what I'm praying for.
Right? Me too.
And we need to do some predictions for the
Yes.
last episode.
AfterBuzz TV
I
prediction.
can't believe next week's going to be the last week.
I
so
know, that blows my mind. That
And-
means next week's
yeah.
going to be a big one. There's a lot to wrap up, I think.
Do
and then
you-
leave
yeah.
us one
I
more.
know, because they're not gonna wrap everything up. They're gonna leave some loose ends, and then we're gonna be like, "Oh man, how long do we have to wait to watch this?" Do you have any ideas what you think is gonna happen in the next
Oh
episode?
my gosh. Okay. I think Sophie and Finley, that's going to be
Yeah,
That is going to be
yes,
the
we didn't even
demise
talk
of
about
that.
as much.
That's going to I know we didn't even talk
They
about them. There was
kissed!
so
They
much to
kissed!
do.
There was so
They
much to talk
kissed
about.
and even though it's like Sophie's engaged, but like I kind of ship it. I'm into it. They totally are naturally. Their relationship is so organic. I believe that they, maybe not by the end of the season, they're going to get together. But I do think it's going to definitely be a problem with Dani. Which whatever. Dani's having her own thing with Bette. Which I'm saying again. Hallie totally predicted that from day one.
Yeah, when they were looking
Dani
at
and
the paint
Bette,
scene, she was like,
they got something going on for
but
sure.
do you think that Sophie should tell Dani that she kissed Finley because she doesn't want to at first? I know.
I feel like she shouldn't if it is a one-time thing. Like, I think she was in a vulnerable place. Like,
Blame it on the grandma.
but at the same time, I personally do not think it's a one-time thing. They obviously had their little intimacy moment in the previous episode at the club, and they were like cuddling on the couch.
Riding the bicycle
Yeah,
together.
on the bicycle.
Oh,
They have a
my
lot of
God.
love for each other. I think it's too organic for them to just like throw it away. Like something's gonna go on there.
And you said it from day one. You said there
Dani and
can't be.
Sophie.
Yeah, they're gonna be broken up. We're not gonna start with a marriage. We haven't even learned about their characters yet. So
Yeah.
and I really wanted Bette to end up back with Tina, but it's looking like it's gonna be Bette and Dani. At least maybe a one night
Something.
type of thing.
It'll probably be like okay, so this is my prediction. I think they will end up getting together, and it's going to be like a career scandal for her campaign.
Oh, you're right. Another scandal. Like she can handle another scandal.
She'll steal your wife, and now here she is messing around with her campaign manager.
Oh my gosh, Bette. She just gets herself like deeper and deeper and deeper.
I know.
Because they left it that Dani was still at Bette's house. They were drinking whiskey, of all things.
Yeah,
no more
right?
wine. I'm worried we're gonna start off the next episode and see them in bed together or see something. It's gonna start
Ooh,
off kind of spicy.
maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, because the first episode they had the period sex scene. So I think for the last one we're gonna start off with and it's funny too because Shane used to be the master of the sex scenes, and we're not even seeing like we saw like her breast like one time. She wasn't even having sex really. It's been Dani has been and Sophie I
Right?
guess have been more the ones we've seen that Finley as well. So I'm hoping for some great stuff next week.
Right? And now that I'm thinking about it, just with Jose and Micah, I still think that's going to maybe get brought up again. That one random white guy that was at the next to the pool,
Yes.
and the day that Jose canceled the date. I think there's still something messy there that hasn't been brought back to the surface. Maybe I'm over speculating, but I feel like that was like just
Cody.
so random and at the same time.
It was, and I feel like they're too happy together. I hate to say this because I want a happy ending, but it just seems for TV too happy. Something bad has to happen. It's not going to last like
and
this.
to this episode, they were all smitten in love, and even Micah's mom was like, have you told him you love him yet? Because he loves you. It's like, we see it.
Here we go.
But it's not... It's too good. It's too like you said.
Too good to be true. It's not going to happen. I'm so sad we have to wrap up right now, but we got through as much as we could because a lot happened during this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Nikki Preston. You can find me all over at Nikki Preston TV.
And I'm Cody Epperson. You can find me on Instagram at Cody Epp, CODYYEPP, and same thing on Twitter, I think, and on Facebook as Cody Epperson.
Bye, guys. See you next week for the last one.
Yeah.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.